Hi, everyone. Good evening. I hope you are doing well today. All right. We'll give everybody a minute or so to pop in and say hello. Hi, Shirley. Nice to see you tonight. I hope you all are having a good evening. Gives us a couple minutes. Make sure everybody's up and live. There we go. Good. Hi, Karen. Hi, Candy. It's so nice to see you. Okay, so we are going to make a fun shaker card tonight with a lot of die cutting that I've already done and not too much mess. So that's good, right? Not too much mess, just a smidge of mess. I can't do a card without a mess. That's just how it works. So this is our bundle for tonight. We have 2 chroma mists. One is the color Steel, and one is the color Angel of Music. I particularly love Angel of Music. I've put it in bundles before, and I use it on my channel all the time. It's so good. I just love it. Steel, I never used it until today when I was working ahead a little bit and figuring out how I wanted tonight's card to go. It was the first time I ever sprayed Steel, and I'm going to drop it. But it's a really nice color, too. We also have detail ink in Raven as part of our bundle for tonight. We have card bases. This is going to be our card panel. We're going to start using that almost right away. So there's card bases in the bundle for tonight. Acetate, the Sketchy Sentiments stamp set, and then the Sketchy die set, and then a couple of cardstock colors. So we have Scarlet and Raven. So that is what we have in our bundle tonight. If you've never seen this die set, this is what it cuts, and it makes a little Etch-a-Sketch. We're going to use the 2 Etch-a-Sketch pieces to make a shaker. And for our sentiment tonight, I was going back and forth, but I've settled. We are going to use the sentiment here that says, "That seems sketchy," because that's just how my day's going today. So I'm going to start with some away cardstock. This is Not Your Mama's cardstock, and these are scraps. These are leftovers from other things, other projects, other bundles, things that we've done before. I always save all my scraps for just these occasions. So I have 2 scrap pieces here. I have one we're going to coat and color with the Steel, and one we're going to coat and color with the Angel of Music. So I'm going to start with the Steel, and I'm going to give this a good rub. This is how we incorporate, mix chroma mists. Don't shake them or you get air bubbles and clogged nozzles and lots of things you don't want. So I always just turn them up and down and give them a really good roll. And then I am going to grab, one second. I'm going to grab a paintbrush, just a flat, easy one. Because I saw that I have one here, but we're going to need 2 because we're going to need one for the Steel and one for the Angel of Music. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a nice spray. And I'm going to use my brush to coat this paper. This shouldn't look unusual to you. We did this when I did the, well, the same idea we did when I did the scrapbook page. Yeah, I love being able to have all these pretty colors and then just make my own pattern paper. Let's get another one here. So you're going to see in just a second, because by the magic of TV, I have one right here that's already dry. What I love about this steel and the Angel of Music is that it soaks into the paper and it darkens up a little bit so that when you're done, your finished panel is actually pretty solidly colored. So that's pretty neat, right? So it goes from being where you can kind of see where I've kind of brushed it on and you can see the paint brush marks and all of that. It goes from that to drying and kind of leveling out and being a more kind of solid matte finish, which I think is awesome. So my lovely microfiber cloths are in the wash. We're gonna have to go with plan B tonight and do baby wipes. In case you were wondering, because every so often you got to throw your microfiber cloths into the washing machine. Just do. That's the way it goes. So that is the steel that's part of the kit for tonight. And then this is the Angel of Music. Not only do I love this color, but I have to be honest, really, really, really love this musical that the color of the Kermit is named after. Does anyone know what musical that is? Anyone? Anyone? Someone has to know what musical that's from. Hi, Tina. So nice to see you tonight. Hope you are doing well. I know the delay. I know you're all typing in the name of the musical that this Kerma Mist is named after. I just know you all are. And the delay is what's making it not pop up on my screen. That one. So not only is this one of my favorite Chroma Mist colors, but the musical it comes from. And I'm waiting till I see all the things. Yep, Tina got it. It's from Phantom of the Opera. I have seen Phantom of the Opera multiple times. I pretty much know most of it by heart. Okay. So again, really cool. You're going to see here in a minute how it shifts. This is like a real dark, some lights it goes black, some lights it sort of goes navy. But when it completely dries, and we're going to use our TV magic here, here's what it looks like completely dried. So you can see it kind of dries back to like a dark gray, but then it's got this amazing gold sheen on it that is so fabulous. So we'll just go ahead and wipe all that up quickly. Set this aside. Yep. Phantom of the Opera. So is anyone else in here? Does anyone else here like Broadway musicals? And if so, do you have a favorite? I love Broadway music. Yeah. Even when they go off Broadway and they're just here in Pittsburgh at the theater here, go to see them there too, all the time. Okay. So what I'm going to do next Once these are completely dry and they're ready to go, I went ahead and die cut all of the pieces from the die. And I have those right here. So I used my colored panels and I die cut some of the little shapes. I'll keep this here for reference. So in this die set, you can see there's like this triangle and this little rectangle and two different sizes of tiny little like ovals and a square and a star. And I cut those shapes out of the colored panels that I created, which is why you just need a scrap, like just a little scrap. And then in addition to that, I dove into my stash and I grabbed just some tiny little gold heart confetti pieces. We're going to use those. And we're going to mix the shapes we die cut with the little gold star confettis and use that for our shaker pieces. From the, don't drop it, from the Scarlet cardstock, I cut the top die for our little etch-a-sketch. And for the bottom, and the bottom is black, and then for the shaker panel, I cut the heat resistant acetate, which is also part of our kit for tonight. So that's what we're going to use to make our shaker element. Why don't I just go ahead and do that? I kind of thought I was going to stamp first, but I think I'll do the shaker element first. So we'll get all these pieces out of here. Tina said she loves live productions. Karen said she loves Broadway shows. Yeah, I love live productions too, Tina. I've seen, so we've gone to see like some Agatha Christie plays and things like that. I really enjoy that too. And I do love concerts. Well, I like, I shouldn't say I like all concerts. I like 80s boy band concerts. Well, that's about it. I cut the little sketchy, and this is part of the die, but look how delicate this piece is. I cut this 3 times because we're going to layer them up. So they're going to add a little bit of lift to our project. So the first thing, let me see how this would be best. I didn't mock this up, so I'm like, how would it be best to put this together? Let's start by adhering our acetate to the back of the red panel. I have done this before. This isn't the first time I've used this die. This is a die that I purchased from Brutus Monroe when it first was released, and I've used it for a couple different projects since then, and I've turned it into a shaker before too. So I'll go ahead and start with that. And that way that can dry while we kind of do the rest. Little pokey tool. And I'm just going to go ahead and line up, stack all 3 of these. And this is a little fiddly, but I love the way that a nice stacked die, like a word die, looks. So we'll get our hands a little gluey, but it'll look good in the end. Oh, we have so many people on tonight. Wow. Usually we round out at about like 9 or 10. We have 14 tonight. Hello, hello. Be sure to leave a comment below. Say hi. I hope you are all having a lovely Monday. Yes, in case you're wondering, Chroma Mist will dye your fingers. It will. I always have to grab some of my oldest sons after I've done a good bit of messy crafting. my oldest son, who works as a sandblaster in an industrial job, he uses this lava soap that, like, it'll take anything off of anything. And that's what he showers with when he gets home from work. And I will steal it and scrub my hands with it after I've been messy. Nothing takes off more stuff than that. So there is our little sketchy all lined up and a little bit stacked. And then when I put it down on here, it's going to like pop up a little bit, which I think is going to look so cool. Oh, now we're back to 11. I'm sorry, I scared the people away. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare anyone away. Okay. So I'm going to center this as this little sketchy piece. I'm going to center it as best I can in the middle here. And I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not going to be too precious with it. And then we'll take both of the little white knobs, kind of add them here. Just like that. Susan says, who cares if chroma stays your hands? Hey, it doesn't bother me in the least. I use it all the time. I'm just, for knowledge sake, just know. How are you doing tonight, Susan? Okay. So we're going to let all that glue dry. We're going to flip this over. Now, in order to create our little shaker, we need a foam tape that's high and thin. And I have some in my stash. We're just going to use that for tonight. We are also going to put it just around the inside edge. So we're not putting it on the outside, because when you put it on the outside, all you end up with is all the shaker pits go up to the edge, and underneath the red part, this doesn't really work. So we're going to use some nice tall foam tape. We're going to put it up to the edge here. You should be able to see just the tiniest bit of red. You want to see just the tiniest bit of red up on the edges. You want to watch your corners. I didn't put those close enough together. Fortunately, my foam tape is very forgiving. I'm going to put that up just a little bit more. There we go. It's the corners you got to watch. Okay. Next, here's a little shaker trick for you. I'm going to take a magic powder tool, and I'm just going to kind of run the corner of it along the sides and along the panel of the acetate. And what that does is that little bit of powder is going to take this, if there's any sticky on the edges of your foam tape. It's going to get rid of that sticky. It is also going to make it so that these little shaker pieces, they're not going to get staticky. So I know Brutus Monroe calls theirs the magic powder tool. Other companies call them anti-static powder tools for that reason, because they take off not just this, they'll take off the sticky from your shaker, and they will also take off all of the static. So the last thing I'm doing is I'm placing these in because these are single-sided papers. We cut them, we made them, so I want to make sure they are all pretty side through the window. Although in this particular case, we do have a lot of kind of black and white going off so if one of them flips over, it's not the end of the world. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab these little gold stars from my stash. And I'm going to put quite a bit in here because these are teeny tiny little pieces. And they're going to be awesome. So I go ahead and pull off the release paper. And then in addition to the foam tape, I am also going to add a little bit of extra adhesive insurance with some wet glue. Just a little bead. You don't need to do this. This is just a little bit of insurance for me because there is nothing that I personally dislike more than when the shaker bits fall out of a shaker. Wow, really? Sorry for the crash if you heard that. My youngest son is in here with me and he promised he'd be quiet. And obviously that's not happening. Okay, so I'm going to line up the back piece. Give it a little push down. Everyone's so quiet tonight. Give it a little push down. And then we can turn it over. And there's our shaker. You will be able to see some of the powder that's on the acetate at first. But as you use this and as you shake it, the more you shake it, it'll all kind of dissipate into everything else and you won't see it at all. So don't let that bother you. If you turn it over the first time and you're like, oh no, I see the powder, you will, it goes away. Don't let it bother you at all. It just has to fall off and get incorporated. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, I'll put my glue back on. There we go. And put this back on. Just going to clean up a bit. I'm a clean as you go kind of girl. I can't do the tidy areas, and I are a good thing. I'm easily, don't know what the word is, easily overwhelmed. Okay, so that's our card base. Here is our card panel. And these can go over here. I'm going to pull out my Mini Misty. Actually, no, this isn't my mini one. It's just a regular one. All right. So basically, our card design. This card panel is 4 by 5 1/4. And my idea is that we're going to put the little shaker bit down here at the bottom. And then we're going to use this sentiment that says that seems sketchy. And there's also on the stamp set, if you can see, there's like these two little squiggly bits. We're going to grab those two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp that seems sketchy right here. And then below it, see where I'm going with this? Below it, we'll have the little Etch-a-Sketch that says sketchy. And then I'm going to take these two little pieces, the two little squiggles, and I'm going to repeat stamp them and kind of create my own pattern all over the rest of our card front, which is why we need our Misty. So I'm going to rub this on my arm. That's just because I haven't used the sentiment yet, and I want to get the oils from the manufacturing off. And I'm too lazy to grab a eraser or anything like that. I always just use my hands because I use my hands with anything that I do most of the time. You know. Okay. So I have that centered pretty good. I want to make sure, put this in here. I want to make sure I don't put it down too low, but I don't want it too far from the top. I want it to be more kind of centered so that when I put our little shaker down, it will work. I'm using Raven Detailed ink, and this is part of our bundle for tonight too, which if you are interested in the product bundle, you can check it out in the description box. I have it all linked up for you down there, ready to go for you to use if you want to get some of these products. These are all, especially the Stampin' Die set, they are older, so they're over a year old for sure. But I still absolutely love them, and they're still available in the shop, and I say go grab them because they're so good. So I'm going to stamp this a couple of times because I want it to be really crisp and black, and that's the best way to do it. Also on this list, so there's a couple other sentiments on here that are really cute. There is there's I heart you, hello, I am drawn to you, which I think is really cute. Thanks so much. Happy birthday. Shake things up and start over. I love that one too. You are a classic, and oh my. Oh, if only wrinkles faded as easily as the Etch-a-Sketch. Oh, that's great. So lots of good, fun things. Okay. And off my stamp. I'm going to grab this tiny one till my lovely big orange one is out of the washing machine. Okay. And then I'm going to leave my card panel in my Misty, but I'm going to grab an acrylic block because I feel like when you are stamping with these small stamps and you're going to be moving them all over the place, I want the Misty because I want it to hold everything in place so it doesn't move or shift. But I also want the ability to have an acrylic block so that I can kind of go, everywhere and create a background. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a little background with all these little squiggly pieces. And there's really and I'm going to take off my watch because it's banging against my glass mat, which always makes me a little scared. I'm going to stamp it off the paper. I'm going to stamp it on the paper. I'm going to switch to the new one, to the other one. that is on this stamp set. And we're just going to, I find repeat stamping and creating my own patterns to be incredibly fun and therapeutic. I love to stamp things like this. And there is no right way or wrong way to do this. Just stamp until you're happy. And then I think let me just take a look here, see where we might need more. I feel like I want to splatter. What do you guys think? Do you think we need a little bit of splatter? We have those lovely mists in our kit. So we could come in and do a little bit of splatter as well. Anyone have an opinion? To splatter or not to splatter? That is the question. I'm leaning towards splatter. Okay. If you're wondering what squeaky clean I'm using, this is Rainbow Ice. And we discovered last week during the live that it smells like, if you are of a certain age, you may remember Avon used to have those bubble baths in the really big, like bubbly jars. And your mom would pour a bunch in. You'd have bubbles for days. But they all had that scent to them. Like, even if they were technically another scent, they still had that, I don't know what scent to call it other than bubble bath scent. That's what this Rainbow Ice smells like. It smells like Avon bubble bath. And so now my whole, and I love to spray it when I clean my stamps because then my whole house or my whole scrap room starts to smell like Avon bubble bath, which is just, really cool. Okay. Tina says splatter, so let's splatter. So I'm going to do the same thing. I have the steel and I have the Angel of Music. I'm going to roll them around just like this. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to try to stay away from splattering here because that's where we're going to put our shaker. I'm also going to try not to splatter too close to my sentiment. So I'm just going to go around the edges. Just do a little bit, just a smidgen. So this is the Angel of Music Chroma Mist, which is this fabulous color. Oh, I just love it. I love this color so much. Almost as much as I love gilded splatters, I love the way this looks when it splatters. So again, just around the edges. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. I hope you all are enjoying my noises tonight. Penny says splatter it is. Yep. Yes. To splatter or not to splatter. We chose splatter. Okay. So I'm going to let this sit here and just give it a minute. Chroma Mist splatters dry super fast, way faster than the other papers that we went ahead and did. So I can wipe down my Misty and my craft room can smell like Avon bubble bath again. And then we can let that dry a little bit. Okay, does anybody have any questions, concerns, thoughts? anything, I can answer. Usually we have more talking and conversation, but tonight everyone's being quiet and I'm gonna run out of this is like the fastest I've ever made a card. Oh, clean your scissors. Thank you, Tina. Yes, I did that. Oh, that was such a good thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's right. I have, in fact, splattered or gotten stuff on my scissors before. And the very next thing I went to cut became that color right on the edge, which is so bad. Don't ever do that. Day goes from 10 to 0 in a heartbeat. Thank you, Tina. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let this let's let it dry a little bit. Does anyone have any questions about today's project or any other projects or anything at all? I could just keep making noises and make my card. I'm cool with that. I am very much the girl that makes noises while she crafts. We could actually get out the heat tool if we wanted and make this dry faster because it does seem to be taking a little bit longer than I'd like. Or we could just... What is that? We're just going to watch the paint dry. We're just going to watch the paint dry. That's what we're doing. I don't want to start like smushing stuff down on it till it dries a little bit, but it really doesn't take very long. It just seems like it's taking a long time because I'm waiting for it to dry. It's like that thing, watch pot never boils. Yeah. Okay. Tina said I actually bought an extra stamp and sketchy die set for a crafty friend. Oh, that's a good gift. I love that. And I am, or I used to be, an Etch-a-Sketch master. I was so good at that. And then I got older, and I got older and I got an iPad and got tech savvy. And I was like, I bet I'd be really good at Procreate because I was really good at Etch-a-Sketches. Yeah, that doesn't correlate at all. But I did try. Okay. So here's our card base. Here's our card panel. And then, all right, then we're going to put our little sketchy piece right here. So now I guess my question is, we have all of this extra height from our little Etch-a-Sketch shaker. Do we need more extra height by adding some easy strips to the card panel to kind of bump it up a little bit? Or is that going to be a lot? What do you guys think? Oh, that's awesome, Tina. Please post it into the Facebook group so I can see. Tina said she is going to make a version of my card tonight to send her with her set. That's awesome. I love that. Let's do it. Let's add more lift because the little easy strips are not, it's not too much lift, I don't think. So let's add some lift. And then, yeah, it's pretty much dried. It's good. I mean, I just sat it down and I think it's okay. So we're good. Susan, that's a good idea though. She says, can you dry the area of the paper that is where the bottom of the sketchy device is? Yeah. Because I just set it down and nothing. See, it does dry pretty quick. Okay. I just want to say, I got my giant roll of the strips the easy strips from Brutus Monroe. I bought mine when they were very first released. The day they were released at Create Your Own Ending. I was there. And was it Create Your Own Ending that I bought it? Oh, I'm almost positive it was. I did. I came home with mine from Create Your Own Ending from the event. And so that would have been June or July, and it's almost January. And I use mine liberally. So if you've ever wondered how long a roll will last, and I use mine a lot. We're at like 6, at least, yeah, close to 6 months with this roll. Okay, so let's line this up. I'm eyeballing this, and I'm probably going to get my fuzzy head in the way. Sorry. There we go. Ta-da! And then we'll do this. And then I probably would have to add extra postage to this to mail it, but totally worth it. You could also, if you wanted to, you could also adhere this kind of sideways. I like it straight on, but you could like tilt it if you wanted to. That would be up to what you like. And then I can kind of, and I put this down for with wet glue for this particular purpose, to be able to like wiggle it a little bit and push it into different directions, kind of get it exactly as centered as I can. Okay. There we go. So cute. I love this sentiment. That seems sketchy with the little sketchy on the Etch a Sketch. I think that that's super cute. And then we have all of that. And like I said, just keep shaking it, and it will shake all of any of the extra powder that might be on the acetate. But it's mostly, I mean, even now it's mostly gone. So, but if you don't put anything there, then what happens is the little shaker bits like want to stick to them and stick to the acetate, and they don't actually like shake. So I hope I'm not making anyone dizzy. There is our card for tonight. Anybody have any questions? Anything you want me to show again or redo? Anything at all? I'll give you guys a minute, and that'll be it for tonight. You guys were all great. You just listened to me. I don't know why it's doing that. I can see the screen like flipping. I don't know if that's the thing or what. All right. That will be the end of tonight's fun then. I will go ahead and set this aside and photograph it all tomorrow and get all of that, because I didn't post a photo tonight. I said I was winging it. Static. Yes. Oh, Susan said your card is so good it makes a good use of all of the bits. Yeah, from the die set. Yeah. That die set has a lot of like the Etch-a-Sketch, but then it has all those little shapes and stuff. I wanted to try to use every part of the die set for tonight. So thank you very much. You all have a fabulous evening, and I will see you again soon. Yes, Penny, the static. That's what it's called. I will talk to you again. Bye, everyone.